garden. These are shells from walnuts. The tree that they're falling from is this one right here. They have kind of a craggy bark like oak or elm. See how it grows in these layers? And the walnuts are falling this time of year. You can see all sorts of little lichen on here. That's these little moss looking plants. And here's a damaged branch from a long time ago. Just under the bark here is sort of a reddish brown color. They're really easy to identify by the leaves. They have these compound leaves, and on each one of these stems are the fruit. So they do start off green, and then when they're ripe, they separate really easily. But these have a really distinct aroma. It's really hard to explain. It's citrusy, almost like a lemon or a lime. But there's, it's almost like a tennis ball. Like you dipped a tennis ball in lime juice. That's what it smells like. So that's the best description I can do. I don't know. But you can see how many leaves are on each cluster here. There's quite a few. If we just look at 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 17. They end with a single leaf like this. You can see each pair of leaves is slightly offset. They have a central vein, and the side veins kind of go straight to the edge of the leaf. They're just slightly serrated, just slightly there. They're very short teeth. The leaves are kind of speckled, a lot of them. That must be some sort of a disease or blight or insects maybe even. But over here we can see some more green fruit. The fruit usually grow in clusters of 2, but you can get 3 or 1. They have a very distinct aroma. That texture is rough like a lizard. Actually a really beautiful fruit. The smell really reminds me of my childhood. We grew up with a black walnut tree. So there goes a fruit there. You can see they're starting to ripen. They turn brown. Eventually they'll turn completely brown, almost black. I found one with a bit of damaged fruit, and look at that blackish ink coming out. This stuff is really gnarly. It's already starting to stain my hand just a little bit. You can see the color difference when they're fully ripe. They kind of shrink down a little bit, but this one's really soft. There's actually a lot of juice underneath. So you could wait until they dry like this one. And this one was shelled, I think, by a squirrel or something. And there you can see the pit on the inside. So it's actually really thick. If you look at that empty space where the actual walnut is, it's in 2 little halves. So they're not quite as large as the ones you buy in the store. I'm really excited to give these a taste test. So I'm going to collect up a bunch of ripe fruit, and there's plenty to go around. The ground here is just littered with them. I've got to watch where I step. I see a lot of these little heaps of nuts. Oh, and look how they connect the halves. There's a little hole right in the center. Here's one that's really, really ripe. It's split open. You can see that black ink. I wonder if we could even make ink out of this. That might be fun to try. There's a little fruit fly. Did you see him? That's probably what these larvae are. But I'm just going to move on before I get hit in the head with some of these falling walnuts. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'm moving. Don't really swing down at you. I'd hate to get clonked on the head. Today I'm going to shell these walnuts. These are black walnuts, a little different than the English walnuts that you get at the store. But I'm really excited to compare the flavor. I picked some nice green ones from the tree. I also have some older ones, so we'll compare how they peel. The dried ones were all pretty easy, although one of them was kind of tough. It had kind of calloused over the shell. And one of the more ripe green ones had a bunch of little maggot type creatures crawling around in it. So that was kind of weird. So I'm going to let these cure a little bit. I'll probably scrub them down and let them dry. So we'll come back in a couple days and see how these taste. After we removed the flesh off of the black walnut, we're just left with that seed. The old ones are a bit lighter. I'm not sure if they're going to be any good. I think the fresh ones are really nice and heavy though, so we should have some really nice walnuts in there. I'm going to try cracking them open with a couple rocks, just like a caveman. I'm going to go full BBC monkey mode and just smash on these with 2 rocks. That's beautiful. Look at that shell. And here's the fruit still wet. It doesn't release super easily. Yeah, it looks like these might be a little too moist, like they need to dry and cure a bit more. This rock method actually works quite well. Separate this, we might be able to get a whole nut. Look at that. That's not bad. See if I can keep the fruit intact. I think we might have gotten a full nut. Oh, come on. There. Woo-wee. Look at that. That's a full undamaged walnut right there. Let's take a closer look at this one. You can tell it's soft. It's not that firm, dried walnut. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and hopefully we'll be able to cook with this. It looks incredible. It smells delicious. I'm just amazed at the scent. It's so fruity. It's just unbelievable. It's like a fruit smoothie with pineapple and grapes and apples. So we'll give them a couple more days to firm up. I let these dry out in the sun for a couple days, and I think the texture has improved vastly. It's not so soft and squishy. It's a little bit more firm, and more like the nuts you buy at the store. They have a phenomenal flavor. It's so fruity. It just blows me away. It's nothing like the nuts that I'm used to that have that bitter oil. These are actually sweet and fruity like a cherry or an apple, like a dried apricot even. They're absolutely incredible. So if you ever get the chance to try fresh wild black walnuts, I really hope you give it a go. They're actually a really nice tree. So hopefully we'll be able to get these fruit cleaned up. We'll be able to extract those walnuts and make a little wild Waldorf salad. So I hope you stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.